Hello and welcome back. I am in my car and I'm sorry if I look like a hot mess. I am not feeling 100% today. I'm sure you can hear it. I'm super congested, but I've tried to film this video like 3 times and had some issues, so this is my final attempt. Here we go. So today, this is all the books that I read in 2023. So, I'm just gonna give like a quick rundown of them all, and then I might address which ones were favorite for the month or like what else I read. So, let's start off in January. I started January off with The Brit. Then I moved into The Life That Mattered, Bane, which was the final book in the All Saints? No. Hold on. Yeah, the Sinners of Saints books. This was the final one in that one. Then A Funny Feeling, which I ended up loving, and it is a favorite. Then I read Off Balance. I read the entire series in January. I did break up the first one with 3 other books before I finished the last ones, but the whole series was a favorite. So I read Balance, Execute, Release, Twist, Dismount, and Out of Bounds. And I read Pen Pal, The Butcher of the Bay, Part 2, which ended that duet. The Initiation, which was a book on... I think I had downloaded it from KU and then it was taken off of KU, but it was still on my Kindle. So I don't know. I don't have to return it or anything anymore, so I don't know how that happened. Parallel, Nightwolf, Happy and You Know It, Grudge, which this was the last book in this trilogy, I believe, as well. Hands Down by Mariana Zapata. I read What Doesn't Kill You, A Life with Chronic Illness, Lessons from a Body in Revolt. This was an amazing read. I think that anybody with or without a chronic condition should definitely read this book. It addressed a lot of issues that people face when they have chronic illness, along with people that don't have chronic illness, things like you can... It was very... It's hard to explain because I think it was written so well that it really, like... I ended up giving it to all my friends for Christmas last year because, our Friendsmas was in like January, so for Friendsmas I bought like 2 of my friends this book so that they could read it, so that they could like get an understanding, and then like if they had anything that they could learn from this. I thought it was an amazing read for everybody. And then I read The Naughty, the Nice, The Nanny, 3 Bills, 2 Beaux, and 1 Brother, and A Partridge in a Pregnancy, which is a trilogy. It's the Holiday Brothers books, and I wasn't a big fan of the last one, but the first 2 were really good. I did enjoy them. They were fun Christmas reads. And then this one I think I got this one for free. It was Reaper's Rise. This was the prequel before the... Oh, where did it go? Yeah, this was a prequel for the Ruthless Kings MC Las Vegas books. This was like the introduction to the Prez and his woman, his old lady. Then I read A Hate Like This, A Merry Little Meet Cute, which loved it. I love the representation of sex workers in this, and just like the representation in general of like the curvy girls, and like I just loved it all. Loved this. I love it. Then I read Even If It Hurts by Sam Mariano. Started the Bargainer books by Laura Lasser with Rhapsodic. Then I read Hush Hush. I was on a Lucia Franco kick at the beginning of the year. I read Hush Hush and then Say Yes. Then I have just 2. I thought there was more. I guess not yet. People Like Her and The Shadows. These were Book of the Month books that I had picked up that were thrillers. And I just didn't quite enjoy them as much. I think I DNF'd both of them. Yeah, I DNF'd both of them. Okay. And then I ended the Nick and Holly series with Locked in Love, and this was a great way to end that series. Then I started Cruel Black Hearts. I also got a special edition of Enemies that I ended up reading, and I really loved it, and I love my cover. I might put that one up instead of the original. Maybe I'll put both. I don't know. I read Everland. This one I did DNF, and I ended up giving it to my daughter because I think Layla would enjoy it more. And I'm really sorry that I'm not looking at you guys when I'm reading these off, but I don't remember all of them by heart. Hence why I have to look at my phone, my list. And then, so I only have 3 left in January. So we ended it with Lord of London Town by Tilly Cole. Love Tilly Cole. Oh yeah, so this one was a DNF from Book of the Month as well. The Paris Hour. Again, I'm pretty sure it was a thriller, and I wasn't in it. And then the last one for January is Priest. I started the Priest series, and so far so good. I gave it 4 stars. So now to end that month off, we ended with 38 books. So let's move on to the next February. In February, I only read 16 books. This was the start of a slump for me, and it kind of just went downhill up until, I think, like, May. In February, I read All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. I was really trying to finish her backlist this year. And then I finished the Dreamland Billionaires series with Terms and Conditions and Final Offer, and I will say, I think Final Offer might be my favorite of them all. I'm not sure yet. I might need to reread them again just to, like, narrow it down. But I loved it all. I did love Terms and Conditions too. And then I read In a Jam, and oh my god, this might be an auto-buy author for me. I'm going to try to read her entire backlist this year because I loved that In a Jam was based in Rhode Island, because I am from Rhode Island, born and raised, and I have never seen my city in a book before until I started reading her books, and I love that. Okay, and then I saw that one of the Sprouse brothers was going to be in a movie called Beautiful Disaster, so I bought the books. I read the first one and ended up selling the books or not even selling them, I gave them to my friends because I was like, I'm not going to finish the series. I have no interest in it anymore. And then I read the final revival of Opal and Neve. I did end up DNFing this one as well. This one was the short stories? No, it was historical literary fiction, that's why. I'm not a big fan of historical, I've noticed, like at all. There are very minimal, I think I've only read maybe 2 historicals that I actually enjoyed. And then I continued the pre-series with Midnight Mass. And then this one was another DNF. This was a book of the month again that so after I read all of these books at the start of the year, it really made me put my book of the month on pause, so that I could try to catch up and see what genres I had purchased and what ones were working and which ones weren't working for me. So that's kind of why I was going through all of these books. And I would start listening, get halfway, and then just like either I lost interest, I didn't like it, and I wasn't going to push myself to go any further. I wasn't going to push myself to go any further with these books. The Guest List, and then I read Ignite, which was really good, like Grumpy Sunshine, Single Dad, and there's an age gap in there too, I think. And then I read one of the anthologies that is on my Kindle, Coerced, and I gave it overall 4 stars. I think there was only one story in there that I wasn't really a fan of, but everything else I really enjoyed. And I read Bad in Each Other, and really enjoyed this series. Definitely think that I'm going to be adding her, like, who is it? What's her name again? Tasha L. Harrison to my must-read authors because I really loved her writing in this series. And then I got another book of the month, Too Good to Be True, and I'm pretty sure that was a DNF. Yep, it was. And then I read another one from my Kindle that I got for free. It was My Dragon Lord, and I actually like this one more than I thought I would, so that was a plus. Then an L.J. Shen, I read The Devil Wears Black. I ended the other series, the Tasha series, with her own two hands, and this one was my favorite. Then to end out February, I finally read The Deal. And I think I might do a reading vlog for the rest of the series and the spin-off, but I'm still undecided on that one. But that was it for February. We're heading into March. In March, I only read 4 books. Like I said, February was the end of, like, the beginning of my slump, and it just kind of went downhill. I think, like I said, up until May. So in March, I did read a favorite, though. I read Debt, by Nina G. Nina G. Jones, and loved it. This one definitely has your trigger warnings. Check them, but it's so good. And then I had an arc for Vicious Devotion, which is book 3 in the Fangs with Benefits, but the first book in the Wet in the Wild. I had an arc for this, and I was a little worried about this one, but I did end up loving it, and it did take me a little bit to read because I had to physically read it, but it was a good one. And then I only have 2 more. This one is a Folgers commercial told as a step-sibling, I think. Yeah, a step-sibling romance. It's a super short novella. It's like 30-ish pages, and it's my present this year. It's based off of the Folgers commercial from, like, way back when, and I thought it was so good. And then the last one I read was Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton. And I do not normally rate my memoirs or anything nonfiction, because normally it is like about a movie that I've watched, or like actors, actresses, like people like that, or they're medical related ones, or true crime, and I try not to rate those. I will say the only one that I did rate was in January. I rated the What Doesn't Kill You. I gave it 5 stars because that one really, that one touched me. So, yeah. Okay, and then there was nothing in April. And we're going on to May. May! It's gonna be May. Okay. So, I read 9 in May. I read My Dark Romeo, which, I'm not gonna lie, just about anything that Parker and LJ write are going to be reads for me because I quite enjoy them. And then I read Bloodshed, which is the first full book of the Order of the Unseen by Molly Doyle, and loved it. I saw that there's going to be another one eventually, and I cannot wait. Loved me my Masked Men. Then this one was also, I got a book from the Lovely Box. Is that what it's called? I'm pretty sure it's called The Lovely Box. Hold on. I don't have the name of it. I can't tell. Okay. I don't know. I think it's The Lovely Box. I read Tutoring the Player, and that was really good. I really like the cover that I have for it. And then I have a Haunted Roads Atlas. This is because I listened to And That's Why We Drink, and this is their book. And then I picked up Savage Lands, and that one was really good too. Then I started Sinners and Saints, along with another series, The Wrong Bride, which I did not realize. I thought that was going to be my first Katerina Mora book, but I was wrong. I read one the year before. It was a novella though. And then I ended out May with Karina Halley, which was River of Shadows and Crown of Crimson, and really like those series. I cannot wait for the next book. And I don't know if the little novella came out or not, but it's like City of Darkness or something like that. I don't remember, but I want to read it and I cannot find it. I ended May with 9 books, so I still feel pretty accomplished there. And I didn't have any DNFs that month. June! Okay, and then in June, we're coming back up. In June, I read 23 books. I started it off with a Audible exclusive novella called Love at First Sight. And I ended another series, which makes me sad, but The Fae Princes by Nikki St. Crow. Again, loved this series. This is the book I was waiting for and loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then I found this book. I can't remember if someone suggested it or what, but I ended up finding it on Pango for $1. And I ordered it so that I could read it, and it's called Dungeon Daddy. It's pretty much a BDSM with a cross of Dungeons and Dragons, because it's like their D&D group. And so far, I have loved it. So, I need a tissue, so please hold. Okay. And then I read Bound by Blood, the anthology, to try to finish that. I'm going to tell you now, I had a reading vlog of this series coming. However, I had to get a new computer, and half of my footage for this video has somehow just disappeared off of both of my computers and all of my stuff. So I have found a new way to store all of my footage, luckily, so that doesn't happen anymore, but I am trying to get it all back, trying to see like where I had it saved as well, but that vlog may have to be scrapped. And then I read a Rockstar romance called Stoned. This one was emotional, but really good. And then I bought this was a cover by, can you blame me? It's so cute. It's a witch's guide to fake dating a demon. And this book was so cute. I loved it. She accidentally summoned a demon. Hilarious. The banter was amazing. And then I read Fragile Longing to go along with the Cora Riley Mafia World series that I was trying to do. This one, I actually really did enjoy Fragile Longing. It's an age gap. That's really good. And then I read Wildlands to try to finish that series. Oh my god, here's the cat. I don't know where he went. He went under my car, I think, but I don't know where. And I hope he didn't. I hope he crossed the street somewhere. I think he's a neighborhood cat, but I don't know where he lives though. And he just like runs around all the time. I keep constantly thinking that he's my cat, because I have an all black cat too that looks just like him, but slightly bigger. I don't know where he went. I hope he's okay, because there was a car that just went by. I didn't hear anything though, so that's a plus. Okay, so Wildlands. I read Wildlands because that series did actually kind of pull me in. You'll see in a few minutes. But then I read Midnight Blue by LJ Shen. Again, she's just a palette cleanser for me. I don't know, it's just easy to read, and like, I love everything. Midnight Blue is a favorite for 2023, just so you know. And I read Deadlands, and again, I was trying to break up the series, but I didn't succeed. So then I ended up reading Satan's Affair by H.D. Carlton, because Sibby, I needed to know more. But then I jumped right back into the series as with Badlands, Bloodlands, and Shadowlands, and really enjoyed this series. Then to finish out the Love Life Farm series, because I knew that this one was coming, the new book is coming this year in June, I was trying to read them like as I went. And so in June I read In the Weeds, which this one was Evelyn and Beckett, and I really enjoyed their story too. Then another DNF with When Daddy Fosters Tilly. This one, no, I did not like this one at all. Like, she was 18 and he was still treating her like a toddler. Literally carried her out of her dance class. No, that one was too much. It was no for me.
It's definitely a no for me, dog.
And I love a good age gap. Then I read Bear With Me Now. This one was while I was on my trip. I ended up reading, I think I read 3 of these while I was on my trip. So I read Bear With Me Now because it was punny, and I was going camping in the middle of nowhere, Maine. So I thought it was funny. And then I read Legends and Lattes. That was because I bought it before I went up. Like, we stopped at Walmart and I bought the book. And then I read Love in the Time of Serial Killers, and this one was a good one too. And The Sculptor was a really good one. I like this one because the girl's boyfriend was trying to get her to have plastic surgery, and the surgeon refused to do it because he was like, she's beautiful as she is. And who doesn't love that? Then I read Wicked Night. I actually own a signed copy of this one, so I was like, I have to read it, like, ASAP. Then The Kiss Thief by L.J. Shen again. Then I finished the month with Rules We Break, which was the final book in the One Night series. So I ended June with 23 books. I got further in this video than I did with the last video, so that's a plus. I feel like we're getting somewhere now here. So we're going into July. Okay. In July, I read 21 books, and I started that off with a novella, The Vampire in the Bookstore. I did like this one. I did get a little bored at times, though, because it's short, and it was kind of interesting. I liked it, though. And then this was another one that I thought I had on KU, but then I found it in my Kindle library, not under KU, and it was called Dirty Wicked Prince. And then I read... This series was freaking hilarious. I loved it. It was good. I read Love, Comment, Subscribe, but then I stopped reading the series for a little bit, and I went into Mercy, and I read another Karina Halley book, A Ship of Bones and Teeth, and oh my god, so good. Oh, so good. I've come to realize that Karina Halley will also be an auto-read author for me. But then I hopped back onto that Ponto Beach reunion series and read Gouda Friends, and I think this one was my favorite. She was cheese obsessed, and I loved it, because I too am cheese obsessed. Then I read As Above, So Below by Dana Islay, and then Forever After All by Katerina Mora again. I read Glass because I had actually started the series a while ago and ended up stopping and then picking it back up, and finally was like, I don't think I want to read the last one. Like, I don't know. If I would have read this in high school with all my friends, I probably would have liked it more, but because I didn't, I feel like I kind of missed out on the hype of it. But I did enjoy it, it wasn't for me. Then I ended the Ponto Beach series with X Appeal, and that one was a good one. And then another favorite was Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. Loved it. So good. Favorite. She's just such a good writer. Even her fanfics were really good. And then I read Runaway Devil, which again was a true crime book. Then I hopped into my fanfic reads, which I started with Manacled because everybody was talking about it and I had to read it. Loved it. Then Vacation Wars. And then sadly we ended the Losers Duet. My poor little heart's gonna miss my man. But yeah, I loved it. It ended perfectly for me. I could have stayed with them forever. And then I read Give Me More because is this the third book? Yes, the third book. Because I had read book 1 and book 2, and then Madam was coming out eventually in 2023, and I was trying to catch up, but it did not work out. So I'm going to try to catch up this year. I did read Give Me More, and I still think Eyes on Me is my favorite. I read another nonfiction, which was Where Are Your Boys Tonight? This one was about the emo scene. Then I finally read Husband Material, which was awesome. I read a trilogy by Selena with Bully Me, Betray Me, and Bury Me, which I originally only picked up the one and then really loved it, and it ended on a cliffhanger and had to read the next 2. So I ended July with 21 books. August. We're on to August. In August, I read 24 books. I read Yours Insatiably, Anastasia, The Deep, but I read Spanked Brats, The Trespasser by Harley LaRue because I was trying to read her backlist, and I think I have succeeded now. There's a couple that she unpublished that's devastating, but like, I understand. I just thought I'll never get to read them because I love Harley LaRue's writing. It's just so good. Then I read Hitched, was unhinged, but loved it. And Razor Blade Tears. This was another book of the month, but I ended up really enjoying this one more than I thought I would after reading the other ones. I was really like struggling because I DNF'd so many, but then that one ended up being a hit. Then I read Beach Read. My screen door is flying open. I'll be right back. So I said Beach Read already. So where was I? Okay, Fourth Wing. Yes, Fourth Wing. I ended up loving Fourth Wing, and it was a favorite. So again, I jumped right into Karina Halley again. I think I read like 26 books of Karina Halley's in 2023. So that's good portion of her backlist right there. But I read Dark House, Red Fox, The Benson, and Dead Sky Morning, which is her thriller romance series, and it was quite the ride. I will say I got scared reading it at night. And then I read another nonfiction, which is Serial Killers and Psychopaths. I hopped on that fanfic again with a Dramini, and I read Contradictions. This one was really good too. This is after the war. It's a enemies to lovers BDSM, and it's a really good introduction to BDSM, I will say. Then I read Savage Lover, The Life You Stole, and then another fanfic, which was Isolation. This one, I think about this one a lot, I'm not gonna lie. The Kiss Curse, because I had to keep going with that series. Another fanfic, which was Breath Mints and Battle Scars, which I think about this one a lot too. This one was post-war. Isolation is actually during the war though. That's when Draco is like hiding in Hogwarts in Hermione's room, and it's really good. I really love that one. But Breath Mints and Battle Scars is post-war. They're all back at Hogwarts trying to like go back to normal. And then I read The Reluctant Bride, Bait by Jade West, and then another fanfic, which is The Fallout. This one, I have a special edition cover for this one as well. This is Waking Olivia. It's a beautiful cover. I'll put it up. And then to end off August, I read another fanfic, which was Cybersex, and this one is an alternate universe of Harry Potter, where Draco is a millionaire still, or a billionaire, and Hermione is a cam girl. I ended August with 24 books. On to September with another 24. Wow, that's weird. I did not realize I read 24 in August, September, and October. How weird. September! Yeah! Wake me up when September ends. Okay, anyways, here we go. I started off with Soul of a Witch, which was the book that I had been waiting for. It did not let me down. I can honestly say, it did not let me down. That was a perfect ending for that trilogy. I think 1 and 2 are my favorites, but no, I think I relate more to 1. But 1, 2, and 3 were all so amazing. And then this one I got from a box, which you'll probably see a video for soon. It's You or Someone Like You. And then I read Top Secret, which another favorite, and Devil of Dublin, again another favorite. And then 1, 2, 3 more Karina Hallies in that series. It's the Experiment in Terror series. I read Lying Season, On Demon Wings, and Old Blood. And that series just really knows how to suck you in. And then again, I read another Kate Canterbury book with Shucked. And again, it's Rhode Island based, so I loved it. And I read The Monarch's Daughter Season 1, and I am really excited to see where this one goes. The storyline is really interesting. Okay, and then I read 3 fanfics. So I read The Right Thing to Do, All the Wrong Things, and The Auction, which loved them. They are all by Loves Bitka 8, which I did talk about the author previously. It is Julie Soto, and oh my god, again, loved her writing so much. And then I read The Cult, and then moved into Salt in the Wounds. I finished off the Loves Bitka 8 with 1, 2, 3, 4 more of her writing, which will be in a vlog. You'll see it's a dedicated vlog to her, with Birthright, When What's Right is Wrong, All Right, and Wrong Time, Wrong Place. And then this one I bought because I thought the name was funny, and the cover was really cute. That time I got drunk and saved a demon, and this was just a fun, spicy adventure, and I really enjoyed it. And then I read 2 more Karina Halley books in that series, The Dex Files, which is finally his perspective, and then Into the Hollow. And then I moved on to an arc that I had for Merciless, which was really good. It's a reverse harem. However, I need to finish the series because I only had the arc for the first book, and I had a problem with getting it to begin with because of my Kindle. I don't know why, but I ended up really enjoying it. I read a Cassie Mint novella called Thief because I had read another one, but this one, I read Hacker, I think it was. But this one was funny. The girl's name is Kat, and she's a cat burglar, so It made me giggle. And then to end September, I finished it off with Could Have Been Us. So that rounded up to 24 books in September. And now on to October. I read My Morning Pages. I started The Predator, which, wow, okay, need to finish that series. And then I read 2 more fanfics with Remain Nameless, which was so good, and The Ceremonials. Love Bites, then Mistletoe, which was like the 1.5 for That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. Another Hermione fanfic to be specific, and I'm gonna read the title because I always mess it up. Love in the Time of the Zombie Apocalypse. That one was a good one. I will say it was very gory though. This one was from my bookshelf. I had bought it a while ago. It was The River at Night. And then I got another one from another book, from a book box, which was In the Likely Event, Halloween Spirit. And then I read another Karina Halley with Men As Comes the Light, Butcher and Blackbird, which was really good. Then I read Knox, and then The Sinner and the Scholar, which I think I had this book for free. I ended up really liking it. Then another Karina Halley book with Hollow. Then I moved on to Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love. And then I had another arc for Magic and Medicine and ended up really enjoying this one and cannot wait for the second book to come out. And here's another one for Karina Halley with Come Alive. Wow, my lighting just changed. A cloud just came out of nowhere, I swear. So let's still keep going though. Okay, so Come Alive was again from the Experiment in Terrors, and then I reread Breath Mints and Battle Scars because I was like, is it really only a 4-star? Like, I think about it a lot. But I ended up still leaving it at a 4-star, I think, right? Yeah, I left it at a 4-star. But I really do love it. L.J. Shen again with Fallen Foe. I moved back to the Experiments in Terror and added in the Ada Palomino books to go with it. The Ada and the Experiments in Terror books are connected. They are sisters. It's between Perry and Ada. I really enjoyed this one too. So I read Ashes to Ashes, Dust to Dust, and Veiled. And I think it's on the back of Ashes to Ashes that there is a reading order to which books you need to read in what order, and that's why I did switch it up from the One Sisters series to the Next Sisters. And then to finish off the month, I read The Lucky Shamrock, which I did not expect to love as much because it kind of looked like an old lady book, but then I read it and it was really good. We're on to November! Started off November. First off, I read 36 books in November, and I started off with a reread of a fanfic. I reread Isolation because, again, I wasn't sure how I felt about the rating I gave and wanted to do a reread, and loved it still, left it how it was, though. Pretty Little Mistake, which was another book from a book box, and then Ghosted, and then I started a new series because I think I had this one for free. It's like they're a novella series, and it's like The Zodiac Queen, I think is the name of it. Yeah, The Zodiac Queen. And it's like this girl that has to go live with 12 men for each zodiac, and then she picks which one she's gonna marry. So far, that was the first book, and it was just the introduction book. Came Back Haunted, which again was another one from Karina Halley. And then I read a fanfic called Hot for Teacher. And then I read 2 bonus shorts. One's called Camboy Pie Part 1, and then Averin Tops Pie. And then I finally hopped on that Jessie Hall and read That Sick Love, which loved it. It was a favorite. Then jumped back to Karina Halley with Songs for the Dead. And then I moved into another fanfic, which is In Silence and Submission, which again was a really good BDSM based one. I reread Fourth Wing and read Iron Flame as well. And love them both. I got an arc, the other one, I can't remember now. I got an arc of one of these, and it was the Springfest Sprint and Stealing the Boogeyman's Bride, and they were really fun reads. And then I read Legend, and then I started A Court of Thorns and Roses. I should have a vlog for that coming up of me reading them all, but I'm kind of stuck because I don't want to buy the third book. I need a credit or something. Or it's coming back to Scribd soon, so I might just wait for that. I read A Strange Hymn, and I had another arc for Dear Plant Daddy, which I ended up loving this one. This was such a fun read. Deep Redemption, which I found out after reading this that the series has been unpublished, and I am devastated because I should have bought all the books on audio when I had the chance. This one's from the book box as well. She's a Mad Hatter. I reread the Winnie the Pooh book, and then I had another, was this an arc? No, I don't think I ended up getting the arc. I think I found it on KU and read it that way. But read Demonic Prince, and then I have season 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Hot Vampire Next Door, which so good. Cannot wait for 5. And then I read Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and then I read To Claim a Demon Lord. I read the first book in the Wrath and Rain series, which is Ruthless Demon King, and then I went back to that Zodiac Queen series for book 2 with Taurus. I obviously had to go back for that one right away because I am a Taurus. Then I read Morbidly Yours, and I really loved the cover. Then I read Bookshops and Bone Dust, With Love from Cold War, which was really good. Measure of a Man, which was another Dramini fanfic, which that one was so good. I loved that one. And then I needed something slightly softer, so I finished Mixed Signals. That was book 3 in the Love Light Farm series. So now I'm finally caught up on the Love Light Farm series to read Business Casual when it comes out in June. But that was the 36 books I read in November, and we are on to the last 42 books that I have for the year. December. And so I finally finished my Mariana Zapata reading. I have officially read her entire backlist with When Gracie Met the Grump, and I actually really enjoyed this for being a fantasy read. Like, it wasn't what I was expecting, and it ended up being a fun time. And then I read another book of the month with Anna Maria and the Fox, which I am excited to keep reading this series. This is a historical, and I will say this is one of the historicals that I actually did enjoy, and I can't wait to read about the sisters. Resting Scrooge Face, and then I read a little novella that went with the Lost Boys series called Lost Boys Halloween. It was an audio bonus short story for the book. And I read Sweet Sin and Between Hello and Goodbye, which was really good. I read A Holly Jolly Ever After. So I started the Dustwalker Bride series with A Soul to Keep. Then I read a Sleep Paralysis Demon story with Sing Me to Sleep. Then this one was just funny. I'm not gonna lie, I read a couple of funny Christmas novellas, and this was How the Grinch Stole Me on How the Grinch Stole Me on Christmas Eve by Jade Price. It's like 58 pages, and it's like a buff Grinch story that I thought was hilarious, but it was written very well. Gifting Me to His Best Friend, My Dad's Best Friend, and Seducing My Guardian, all by Katie Robert. I continued the Selena series. All of her books, they may be grouped into series, but they're all interconnected. And so I read Dangerous Defiance, which was the Brother King story, and then Snow Place Like LA. Then I read Icebreaker, and then I also read Do Your Worst, which I ended up reading because I liked the cover again. Then Trick Shot, Worlds Between Us, which I read this one because I'm in a Facebook group with the author, and I just wanted to support her. Same Time Next Year, Just the Tip, which I read just because I needed a J. And then Birch by the Krampus. And then I read The Anti-Stepbrother, which I was trying to read it for my stepbrother challenge, and it fell through. It's not a stepbrother's romance, and it is an enemies to lovers romance though. And then I read 3 books by Evie Mitchell: The Shake Up, Double the D, and Muffin Top from the what book is it? Is it the Capricorn Cove series? And those were just really fun, spicy reads too. I read The Mistletoe Bet, You'll Know It When You See It. Then I read Big Nick Energy, A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch, which again, loved. I love that I picked up that first book accidentally and ended up really enjoying the series so far. And then I read Unstoppable, Illicit Obsession. Finally finished the graphic novel called Murder Book, which is by a comedian. There was a lot of suggestions in there for like books to read, movies to watch, and like documentaries to watch. Then I read another hilarious one called Frisky the Snowman, which again, it's snowman smut. It was hilarious. Then I read A Festive Feud, Dear Monster Claus, which I am very excited to, I saw that there's another one for Dear Monster Claus, that's the brother, and I'm excited for that one. And then I read A Court of Mist and Fury and Emperor of Evening Stars. Then I finally read Take You Down by McKay, and oh my goodness, I loved it. Then I read Caution to the Wind, which I had been waiting for. It did not disappoint either. I really enjoyed it. And then I really like the name of this one and the cover. It's called The Only Purple House in Town. And then to end December off, I read Countdown to a Kiss. And it's a novella for a series. I think it's a hockey series. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, a hockey series. And this introduced you to 3 of the men in the series. And I'm excited to see the first one. I will say it sounds interesting. That is all 261 books that I read in 2023, and yay, I actually made it through this time and nothing happened. Yay! Okay, so I hope you enjoyed. I hope you come back and watch us again, and I'm sorry for my voice. I probably sound so nasally right now, but I'm so congested. But yeah, so I will see you in the next one.